Hey guys, today in our handover tutorial video, we're going to be running you through the BMPRO Odyssey BP35 system from the team at BMPRO. The BMP35 Odyssey can be noted by a larger LCD display, which we'll show you at the entrance of the van. We're going to crack in, we're going to show you the whole board configuration. They come as a set unit, so majority of them are the same. It's an upgradable feature across the Excaliburs and other models from the Aspero Trek 3, and in some of the higher end models like the Cross Country or Hurricane CRVs, we have a standard BMP35. Let's crack in. So right underneath the bed here, guys, we have our board. So the board is notably a little bit bigger, same sort of configuration. So we're going to unplug this little guy just here to be able to have a better view. We have our comms link. So typically you'll have a comms link. The comms link's main device or main job is to communicate signal. So in the Odyssey, it communicates the inverter pull. In a lot of the higher end models, or if you've optioned up model, you may or may not have this, but on the battery, they'll have a little shunt just here. So this is a communication shunt. This is communicating signal back to the Odyssey display. So you can actually see the pull from the large inverter here, optional in most of the models, of course. You may or may not have that one, so just keep an eye out for it. Comms link sends signal back to it. So you'll see a little flashing light. Currently that's red, it's telling us it's not happy. When it's flashing green or blue, she's working a treat. You can check out the shunt video in the description below to get a better idea about how to program those if you're having that sort of troubleshooting issue. We have storage mode. Now, storage mode, the way it works is currently the van is on. To turn the van off, we flick off. And the whole van will essentially be in storage mode. So to turn it back on, turn the van on. So off is turning the van off, on is turning the van on. So if you're going to put your van in storage and you're out in the sun, if you flick this switch, it will turn the van off. It will still allow input from 240 volt charging. It'll allow input from your vehicle if you hook him up and pump him on for a bit. It'll allow solar input either from an external Anderson plug or alternatively the solar panels on the roof. We flick the van on when we're going to be using him. Let's say you really want to cut all voltage to the Caravan batteries and you want to make sure that nothing comes out of the batteries. You could press this ignition switch. So this is actually, if I press it right now, will turn the whole entire Caravan off. That will turn the whole Caravan back on. Now, the difference with this switch is it literally cuts. It'd be like getting a pair of pliers and cutting the main line of the Caravan on and off. So you would only do that if the Caravan's going to be long-term storage. You would go off, off, right, for long-term. I'm not talking 6-8 weeks. I'm talking months. Do not do this. Long-term storage, short-term storage. On and van on, right? And then shortly, you'll hear the charger goes and comes back on. Everything starts coming through there. That is turning the van on, short-term storage, long-term storage. This is our Odyssey link. This Odyssey link here is a beautiful little guy. He, again, links the system to the display and also to your phone. So what you can do on your phone device, whatever one it may be, you can go to search BMPRO Odyssey. Now on the Trek 3, same sort of thing, Odyssey. We're going to skip that. We're going to go into here. See, I'm already set up on a device, so I'll remove this paired device and then look for another paired device. So we're going to come up here, scan and connect, and nothing will be there. You need to press this little button here, right? So we're going to press him. See how the green light, there's a little green light just under there, see my finger? And ODL 104, bang. We're going to sync up to that unit. And this is going to then get all of the gauges, all the information, everything's going to come up on here. And then you can control your van from this device on your phone. So do not touch light zone 1, 2, or 3. Completely ignore them. Do not touch them. What these do is they turn off areas of the Caravan. They're not hooked up to lights. We don't do it like that. Obviously, you don't have a slide out. If you've got one pump or two pumps, you can control them individually. The van has 40 hours remaining and it's currently full. All your water tanks down there. You've got 4 amps coming through the system, 13.5 volts, and currently the load in the Caravan is 8.2 amps. Solar's in, auxiliary in, AC mains. If I get the 240 cable and plug it back into charge, and turn it back on, you'll see the AC mains fire up here once it recognizes that it's currently plugged in. You can go to Smart Connect, and then you can actually buy from BMPRO tire sensors, smart sensors, so you can put these underneath your gas bottles, or temperature sensors you can pop in your fridge. And you literally just go add pair. These are really, really cool features, and you can just head to the BMPRO website. AC mains now in. We've got 9 amps of load. you got two 20.6 amps coming in because the charge is just smashing power. That's a way to configure it. And then in the settings, you can go in and change light zones. So you can literally change light zones. Like, so you're aware, you can literally change them to Michael said don't touch. You can rename it. You can change the battery level settings. You can change the input settings. You can get rid of areas like tanks for, slide out's gone. You can really configure it, customize it. Get yourself a big iPad, keep it in the van, and that's your whole control hub. Now, working way through it, 240 volt charger. So this is your charger. So as your, when your van's plugged into 240, this is going to be live. This does not run through the inverter for obvious reasons. If your van was going through the inverter would be going to this power point and then running back to the battery, running back through. It'd be a cycle of death. Snake eating its own tail, not a good thing. So that's going to be charging your battery through 240 volt. You've got a scan for support button, so you can scan this here. That'll bring up all the manuals and stuff there for you as well. Battery outputs. So what this does, so you actually pinch just there. See how you pinch it, press, and then that can come off. These are all your fuses. These are noted as a 15 amp fuse, and you've got a 10 amp fuse just up here. These are all your mainline fuses. So what these are is stereo, Wi-Fi systems, gas heater, all of these bits and pieces are all labeled on the actual wires themselves. What they do is they're hardline. So even when you turn the storage mode off, there will still be voltage coming to this block here as running directly from the battery. The reason we do that is because things like your radio memory, things like your gas heater clock, things like your trail safe on the front of the Caravan, so the thing that, when your Caravan and car disconnect to turn on, you don't want those things turning off. Your fridge, your fridge wiring is just there for your memory. You don't want those things turning off, so that remains on. That will turn off if you press this. So long-term storage, if you press that, that will be completely dead. So don't touch him. Just back to the Odyssey link very quickly. The Odyssey link here, if there's an issue with the display on the front of the van, so whether it be the Trek 3 or Odyssey, if you lose information or the water tanks aren't representing correctly or it loses Bluetooth connectivity, you can press the pair button and just resync it. Alternatively, what you can do is a little hack. You pull this little wire out, pull that little cable out, it's like an Ethernet, it pushes, and then you can pop him back in, and that will actually reset the unit. So you have all these little lights down here, and then it'll resync back up. It's just a quick little hack if things don't go well. It's a software, so at the end of the day, things do run into headaches, things stumble. That's that one there. Underneath the Odyssey link, we have our BMPRO 30 amp DC to DC. So this 30 amp DC to DC is a slightly larger DC to DC charger than that of the standard Mini Boost 20 amp in the Trek 3 and Aspero, but it's going to absolutely smash power in. So DC to DC charger, charging from your vehicle as you're driving, and again, you'll see that on your phone as auxiliary input. That's from your vehicle. These are all your negatives running through to the Caravan. These are all your positives running through to the Caravan. 13 and 14 are your pump switches, so it's going to turn pump on and off, and then there's certain areas here that are like your lighting zone 1, 2, and 3, as I said, don't touch. So they're all your positives running into the van, such as your LED lights and stuff like that. Over here, we have our solar. So you've got solar, negative and positive. They're together, so they're a friend, and these guys are probably the auxiliary solar panels. So pulling him out. They're just a spade connector. So they just pop in there. So your portable solar panel on the outside, if you've got one, typically with the Odyssey link, most people option it up. You will have outside solar panel, roof solar panel. So you've got two solar inputs running into this, which means your outside solar panels, you don't need a regulator for, because the BP35 has its own regulation system and is an MPPT system. So it's going to give it maximum solar charge anyway. Just moving on, we're nearly done. We have our mainline power. So these are all your negatives and positives running directly to the Caravan battery. Mainline fuses back there. And then we have our press to reset button. So there's actually a press to reset, as it says here, and that's going to actually reset the unit again if it runs into any troubleshooting. Now, we're going to very quickly run to the front. Now, on the front of the van, we have our BP35 Odyssey. Now, this is a tablet, right? Which means you can get out of it and end up on Google. So, less playing the better. It is really much easier to use it off your phone. Again, you've got this beautiful display. You've got your 59 hours remaining, Smart Connect. So, it's pretty much just the app on your phone up here. It looks very, very similar to your van. So, when this loads up, so we've got water tanks, same representation. We've got, I've just renamed a lighting sequence on my phone. It says L Mixer. Eco mode, which you've got to use. Water pump. Now, when it's illuminated, it's on. So illumination on. See how it's changing up here? So it mimics the same system through a Bluetooth connectivity system, right? So that's going to turn the water pump 1 off, water pump 1 off. Lighting zone 1, 2, and 3, don't touch them. As I said earlier, we have scroll up. We have solar, 3.6, auxiliary, AC mains, 9 amps worth of load, 38 minutes remaining, 5.5 amps coming out of the battery, and 13.5 volts of discharge because we didn't turn the charger off on back under the bed. Settings. Again, you can do things like change the name, change the lighting zone configurations. You can change it to power saving mode, sensors, battery levels, wall switches if you have them, external shunts, don't touch that. Battery capacity. What is it? It's a Life Pro battery, so we need to change the settings there. Customize view, you can change preferences. You have the manual here about, and if you care about it, privacy policy. But to be honest, everyone's tracking you anyway, so don't worry about it. This system has a heap of capability and has a heap of use. The most important thing I'd say is go slow. A lot of people, not bagging the old people, but a lot of the people just go like that and just press everything, and all of a sudden they've just changed the van to a lead acid, they're discharging, dying, they can't figure out why their van's dying. The shunt's not programmed because he started unplugging things. You just got to be mindful of how you're using the system. It is incredible powerful system. The guys at BMPRO with CES, those guys have unheard of knowledge with this. I'm not bad, but there's definitely more to the system that you can learn, and I would highly encourage you to jump into the description. You'll see the user manual for the comms link, the shunt, and the BP35, as well as all the other appliances ran through in our Handover tutorial videos. Learn it, live it, love it. You can learn so much in that and get full capability out of the system to really have a really good understanding of what comes next, how to use it, and how to get the most out of your free camp, how to interpret amps, how to interpret volts. Volts and amps, not the same thing. If you've got heaps of amps remaining, you'll be out there for days. Just keep it in mind, guys. Head to the next tutorial video. Make sure your shunt's programmed. Make sure everything's working. We'll catch you on the next one. Head to the website, www.crusadercaravansmelbourne.com.au for the next latest and greatest video. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the other side.